Onlyfans horror stories. True scary stories. Our scary and horror stories are designed to send chills down your spine. Enjoy the spine-tingling stories thrill. Story number 1. The Obsession. Julia, an art student, decided to open an Onlyfans account to share exclusive behind-the-scenes content from her art studio, hoping to gain a little extra income. At first, the attention she received was flattering. She gained hundreds of fans in just a few weeks. Among her fans, one user, named Watcher 1984 inches, was particularly generous. He never missed a post, always tipped generously, and even sent personal messages complimenting her work. Initially, Julia was flattered, but she started getting uncomfortable when he began requesting increasingly personal content. One day, she received a vintage-looking envelope in her mail, without a return address. Inside was a handwritten letter. "Why aren't you responding to me on OnlyFans? I just want to be closer to you." Chills ran down Julia's spine. She had never shared her personal address anywhere. She immediately blocked Watcher 1984, but the incidents only intensified. She would find gifts on her doorstep, and sometimes even outside her art studio. One night, she was working late when she felt like she was being watched. Turning around, she saw a silhouette of a man standing outside the window, holding the same vintage envelope. Story number 2. The Digital Ghost. Samantha was a tech-savvy individual who knew her way around the world of digital content creation. When she stumbled upon an old OnlyFans account that appeared to be abandoned, she was intrigued. The content creator had left behind thousands of followers but had suddenly stopped posting months ago. Seeing an opportunity, Samantha reached out to the OnlyFans support, claiming to be a relative of the original content creator. She was able to gain access to the account and started posting content, enjoying the immediate flow of tips from dedicated fans who were thrilled at the return of their favorite creator. But strange things started happening. Samantha began receiving messages from the account's followers claiming they had seen videos she hadn't posted. Curious, Samantha investigated and found a series of unsettling videos uploaded from her device. In these videos, she was asleep in her bed, with a shadowy figure standing over her, simply watching. Terrified, she reported the incidents and deleted the account. She never found out the true story of why the original content creator had vanished, but Samantha often wondered if it was related to the shadowy figure she'd encountered. Story number 3. The Reflection. Christine was a fitness trainer, and she used OnlyFans as a platform to share advanced workout tutorials. One day, she posted a video of a new yoga routine, filmed in her cozy apartment. A few hours later, a fan sent her a message. "Who was the other person in your video?" Confused, Christine rewatched the video. At first, everything seemed normal. But then, in the reflection of her glass balcony door, she could faintly see another figure mimicking her movements, a figure she hadn't noticed while filming. Panicking, Christine scanned her apartment, but she found no one. The doors were locked, and windows sealed. Over the next few weeks, each video she uploaded had that mysterious reflection mimicking her movements. But she could never find anyone. Disturbed, Christine sought out previous tenants of her apartment and came across an old woman who shared a tale of her twin sister who'd vanished in the apartment decades ago but was believed to be forever mimicking her sibling. Christine moved out soon after, leaving the reflective memories behind. Story number 4. The Forgotten Subscriber. Alexa started her OnlyFans journey sharing makeup tutorials. Her follower count grew steadily, and she made a decent living from her efforts. One evening, she received a message from a subscriber, Silent Observer, who claimed to have been following her from the start. Alexa didn't recognize the username, but Silent Observer began mentioning specific details about her early videos, some of which she had deleted. Wanting to engage with a loyal fan, Alexa began exchanging messages. Over time, the subscriber's messages grew more demanding. "Wear the red dress from your May 5th video," or "I miss the background music you used in the winter of last year." Alexa humored the requests initially, but things took a chilling turn when Silent Observer said, "I liked when you used to sit near the window, with the lights off, every evening around 7 p.m. Confused, Alexa realized that she never filmed at that time or setting. But she remembered that she often read books near her window during evenings. Her apartment was on the 10th floor, with no neighboring buildings at the same height. The realization struck her. Silent Observer had been watching her from somewhere, but where? Terrified, Alexa moved out, never discovering who the silent observer was, or from where they watched her. Story number 5. Echoing Whispers. Liam was an aspiring musician, using Onlyfans to share acoustic sessions and new songs. One evening, after uploading a new track, a user named Echoing Voice sent him a private message, "Your music feels familiar." Thinking it was just a compliment, Liam thanked the user. The next day, Echoing Voice sent him a link to an audio file. It was Liam's voice, singing a song he hadn't yet released, and the background had eerie whispered voices, echoing his lyrics. Disturbed, Liam messaged the user asking how they got the recording. The response was chilling. "It's the songs you sing in your dreams." Soon after, every song Liam thought of or dreamed about was sent to him by Echoing Voice before he could even record it. It was as if the user had direct access to his thoughts and dreams. Desperate to end this, Liam quit OnlyFans and sought therapy. He stopped dreaming of songs and slowly, the messages ceased. Story number 6. The Disappearing Fans. Ella was a dance enthusiast. On OnlyFans, she started a channel where she'd teach traditional dance forms from around the world. Every time she gained a new superfan, they'd have a video call, a personal touch Ella loved providing. One by one, her superfans started disappearing. At first, she thought they had just unsubscribed. But then she started getting messages from their concerned friends and family. They all asked if she knew where they were, mentioning their last known activity was their video call with her. Terrified, Ella decided to trace back. She remembered that during these calls, she often noticed a flickering shadow behind the subscribers. She decided to have a video call with a friend to test it. Mid-call, her friend froze, his face pale, staring at something behind Ella. She never saw her friend again. Ella shut down her OnlyFans, haunted by the idea that something lurking in her room was responsible for the mysterious disappearances. Story number 7. Shadows in the Comments. Grace was an aspiring chef who decided to use OnlyFans to showcase her unique recipes. For every dish she created, she would read out the recipe while demonstrating the process. Her channel quickly gained traction, with thousands tuning in to watch her culinary creations. One user named Shadow Chef began leaving comments, but not on the food. Instead, they described the barely visible shadows moving behind Grace in her videos. Grace rewatched her recordings and, to her horror, every video had fleeting shadows dancing behind her, becoming more distinct with each upload. Growing paranoid, Grace set up cameras around her house. Reviewing the footage, she'd see the shadows, humanoid but faceless, watching her from corners, under tables, and behind doors. But in daylight, nothing was there. One evening, after a live session, she saw a comment from Shadow Chef. "The shadows enjoy your company. They're closer than you think." Grace's screen flickered, and she was met with dozens of shadowy figures surrounding her in her own recording. She immediately stopped her sessions and moved away. The shadows, however, remained in all her past recordings, a chilling reminder of her unwanted audience. Story number 8. Past Lives on Display. Tom was a history buff, using OnlyFans to explore and discuss ancient artifacts. One day, he presented a mysterious locket he'd acquired from an old estate sale, rumored to be cursed. Opening it live, inside was a tiny, ancient photograph of someone eerily resembling Tom, dated back to the 1800s. The next day, Tom received a message from a user named Past Life Explorer. "You've opened a door to your past, and now it's catching up." Each day after, Tom began experiencing inexplicable events. He'd wake up in old-fashioned clothing, find items in his home from bygone eras, and even began speaking in languages he'd never learned. With every artifact he presented on OnlyFans after the locket, a part of its history integrated into his life. It culminated when he showcased a sword from a forgotten war, and the next day, he bore a scar from a wound he never received. Terrified, he returned the locket to its original location. Gradually, the anomalies faded, but Tom was left forever haunted by the lives he'd once lived. Story number 9. Vanishing in Frames. Mia was a travel vlogger, sharing exclusive scenic spots with her OnlyFans subscribers. During one of her travels, she discovered an untouched, picturesque forest. Excited, she started live streaming her walk. As she ventured deeper, the ambiance began to shift. The once vibrant forest grew eerily silent, The trees seemed to close in, and the path behind her started vanishing. Alarmed, Mia tried retracing her steps, but each path led her further astray. Her subscribers watched in horror as Mia grew more panicked. They frantically commented directions and advice, but it only added to the confusion. One astute subscriber noticed that for every frame Mia appeared in, she seemed to age rapidly. Hours seemed like minutes, and as dusk fell, Mia, now visibly older, stumbled upon an ancient-looking stone circle. A whispering voice echoed, "To discover untouched beauty, one must become a part of it." As Mia stepped into the circle, she disappeared, leaving the live stream to broadcast an endless loop of the enigmatic forest. The video remains as the only testament to Mia's existence, and the forest's location was never found. Story number 10. The Silent Moderator. Sophie, a life coach, hosted therapeutic sessions on Onlyfans. She felt it was a safe space where users could interact anonymously, making them more comfortable sharing their feelings. One day, a new moderator, Quiet Counselor, appeared on her channel. Sophie assumed it was an Onlyfans feature she wasn't previously aware of. Whenever a user shared personal pain or trauma, Quiet Counselor would send them a private link. Curious, Sophie clicked on one. The screen went black, and all she could hear were deep, calming breaths. She immediately felt serene, her worries melting away. Subscribers started to mention that after visiting Quiet Counselor's link, they felt not just relief, but also an overwhelming emptiness. They couldn't remember parts of their past, emotions felt muted, and their once painful memories were now just blank spaces. Panicking, Sophie reached out to OnlyFans support, only to find out they had no feature or moderator by that name. She attempted to trace the link but found nothing. Soon, her followers dwindled. Those who remained became passive, their messages increasingly monotone. Sophie shut down her account, tormented by the idea that she might have unknowingly exposed her followers to an entity that didn't just heal, but also consume. Story number 11. The Forever Stream. Ben, an insomniac, started an OnlyFans channel called Nightly Whispers, where he'd narrate late-night stories. One night, as he was wrapping up, his screen glitched and showed another stream titled Endless Dreams. Intrigued, he clicked on it. The stream showed someone sleeping, with a timestamp indicating the stream had been on for weeks. Occasionally, faint whispers and soft lullabies played in the background. Intrigued and slightly unnerved, Ben mentioned this on his next stream. Many of his followers claimed they'd visited Endless Dreams and felt well rested after just watching for a few minutes. But they also shared that they'd experienced vivid dreams of themselves sleeping, while an unseen audience watched. Days later, Ben checked Endless Dreams again. The sleeper was now surrounded by countless other sleepers, including some of his followers, all seemingly trapped in an eternal slumber. Ben ceased all mentions of the mysterious channel, but he could never shake off the feeling that somewhere out there, a stream was showing him, sleeping, while unseen eyes watched on. Story number 12. Echoed Desires. Riley used OnlyFans to share personal journals and daily life reflections. A user named Desire Echo began echoing Riley's sentiments but with an eerie twist. If Riley mentioned wanting a day off, Desire Echo would comment about wanting to escape forever. If Riley mentioned a mild argument with a friend, Desire Echo would speak of betrayals and vengeance. As weeks passed, Riley's life began to spiral. Their mere wishes turned into harrowing realities, mirroring Desirecho's dark twists. A simple desire for rain turned into a devastating flood. A hope for a promotion became a hostile company takeover. Riley decided to confront Desire Echo. In a private message, they wrote, "Who are you?" The reply came instantly. "I am your unspoken desires, the darkness you suppress." To end the cycle, Riley stopped sharing on OnlyFans. But inside, the battle with their own echoed desires raged on, a constant reminder that our innermost wishes might not always be what they seem. Story number 13. The Background Audience. Tara started an OnlyFans account dedicated to book readings. Each session, she'd choose a corner of her house to create a warm, inviting backdrop. One evening, as she was engrossed in a mystery novel, a fan pointed out, loving the interactive background. Adds so much depth to the story. Confused, Tara reviewed her stream. Behind her, the seemingly inert objects, books, vases, and furniture, subtly shifted. They moved closer, as if leaning in to listen to her reading. In every subsequent video, the background became more animated. Books would open by themselves, furniture would inch closer, and the room's shadows deepened as if the walls themselves were closing in, entranced by her voice. One fateful evening, Tara chose a particularly eerie horror tale. As she reached the climax, her entire backdrop came alive. Furniture toppled, books flew, and a cold wind seemed to whirl around her room. Her screen went black, cutting the stream. Tara's account went silent after that. A month later, a single video was posted. It was Tara, reading, but she was now a part of the background, frozen, yet subtly shifting, another captive audience to some unseen narrator. The end.